Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Life After Lockup, Season 6, Episode 14.
We need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. I miss y'all because, you know why? All of our shows come on like Friday. So it seems like we won't see each other until the end of the week. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Walk us through this episode.
All right, so we're going to start with Kiana, Jawaila, and Damodrick. She gets a call. What's her name? Kiana. At work, but she doesn't discuss what happened on the call. She goes home, tells Damodrick to take his mic off, and takes him in the room to tell him what's going on. Apparently, Jawaila filed a police report against Kiana because she believes that Kiana vandalized her car and slit her tires.
Now, do Blair believe that she did that?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, my goodness, Blair.
I thought I saw guilt on her face as soon as she got that call. It wasn't like, oh, my gosh, like I'm upset because why would she lie on me? It was like, oh, dang, she actually called the police.
Oh, yeah.
That was the reaction I saw.
Here's the thing about it when you have an enemy, right? When you are beefing with someone, you want to make sure that the person that you're beefing with have multiple enemies. Because if that person's not beefing with nobody, then it just makes you the only person that they're beefing with.
Right.
That's why she's like, who else would do this? Like, I have no problem with nobody else except you. She didn't do her background check on if she have a lot of enemies. You get what I'm saying? So listen here, I think she did it because why did you react that way? You taking off the mic pack, you're running away, you know, the camera crew following you. You come off as if you are guilty.
And then the other dumb thing Kiana did, apparently I thought that she just leaked the girl's picture just somewhere online for people to see. Kiana posted it on her page, Jawaila's explicit picture. And I'm like, how stupid can you be? Like, all signs point to you. All signs point to you.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you are obviously the only girl that she's beefing with. So everybody would be like, I think it's her. You know what I mean?
So Damodrick couldn't live with Jawaila if she ended up catching a case. If the police think he had something to do with it, then he would go back to jail. Kiana is telling him that she didn't do it. Jawaila probably did it herself to come between them and their relationship.
I'll tell you this right now. I'm not flattening all four of my tires. Listen here. I can write whatever I want to write on my car. But when it comes to them tires and things like that, because they try to make it seem like you buy 3 tires and like the 4th one free. I already spent $800 though. Dude, you get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, hey, I think personally that because of the flat tires, oh, you for sure did it. But if it was just a little vandalism, a little, you know, just write something that you could wash off, I still would have thought you did it, but that's not the point, right? The point is the fact that you are saying that she did it herself kind of confirms for me that you definitely did it. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't seem like shocked.
Right.
Or even like confused by the matter. You just like running away and just telling the camera crew not to follow you.
So Damodrick goes to Jawaila's house, I guess calling himself trying to talk some sense into her. Jawaila had to pay $600 for those flat tires. And she did tell the police that it was Kiana. Kiana got a phone call from the detective, and you know that's how it sparked this conversation. Jawaila knows that he's trying to protect Kiana, and he asks why would she put the police in their life. And Jawaila says, no, I got kids, I got a job, I have work, I have she's in school as well, and she says I need a car just like she does to take care of her family and her life, and Kiana can't go around just doing whatever she wants to do. Damodrick says, look, we can give you the money for these tires and drop the situation. And then Jawaila says, well, then give me the money then. And he just says, look, well, pretty much he's not going to give her the money right now.
No, because he basically was saying, like, promise me that once I give you the money, that you would drop it. And then that's what she was like, give me the money first. And he's like, no, you need to promise me.
So she just tells him, look, don't have that woman at my son's party. And he says they're all going to be there.
The fact that he's offering money to pay for the tires kind of confirms to me that she did it.
Oh, for sure.
Because I'm not going to pay money, even though it is my baby mama. I would be like, hey, who are you beefing with? I am in concern of my children's life.
Exactly. Their safety.
But I think he knows that the safety or rather the perpetrator wouldn't hurt the kids. How would he know the perpetrator wouldn't hurt the kids?
He's lying with the perpetrator.
Because he's with the perpetrator. So that's why I'm like, the fact that he's trying to get her to drop it, and I understand from his point of view of, hey, I just came out of jail. I'm not trying to deal with no cops. But at the same time, your girl Q did something stupid. Like, she did an emotional thing that basically, it just seems like she's the aggressor in all of this. All because she's not invited to some party. You posted this girl's picture with her in lingerie, but yet you're mad that she's actually having like a boundary of saying, hey, you're not going to do this. I like what Jawaila said. She said, you know what? I'm acting like a woman. I'm not acting immature. Meaning that, hey, I'm going to get the police involved. I'm going to get men involved in this.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not going back and forth with her doing crazy stuff. Yeah.
And then on top of that, I'm not going to fight you. I'm actually going to go above myself and get the cops involved. I can't hate on that.
I'm with Jawaila. Yeah. And Kiana, if you didn't want the cops in your life, then you shouldn't be doing vandalism.
Yeah, that's true.
So we move on to Brooke and JK. JK got a job. He got off the ankle monitor. He even got himself a truck.
Okay.
So Brooke has to call her mom to go to the doctor's appointment with her to get this blood test to find out if she's pregnant because JK is ignoring her phone calls.
Of course he is.
She thinks that he's acting weird now. And her mom believes that he could be on drugs because that's the way her brother would act, basically not coming around when he was on some stuff.
Okay.
Now, JK with his truck feels like he can spend the night where he wants to. He's feeling freedom, but he's also feeling temptation. And we see him go to Alex's house.
Now, here's the thing about it. I did not think that once they say he started acting differently once he got the job, drugs did not come in my mind.
Me neither. I thought like, oh, he's feeling himself.
In my head, I was like, he's acting differently because you took 6 pregnancy tests to where 4 of them were positive and 2 of them was negative, whichever number it was, right? And he don't want to be with you. That's what I thought. But once they introduced drugs into the picture, I'm like, oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So JK doesn't tell us what he does discuss with Alex when he comes up out of there. And Brooke, she tries to call him to talk to him about the doctor's visit, but he doesn't pick up. So we get back to Brooke's house, and she kicked Bonnie out for running her mouth to JK about her losing her job. And Brooke says, you know, with you gone, maybe I can have a normal relationship now. And Bonnie laughs and says, if only you knew. Well, Alex, according to Bonnie, just miscarried the baby with JK.
Wow. Brooke
doesn't really know if she believes it was JK's because Alex was cheating on him with some other dudes.
Here's the thing about Bonnie, right? I don't feel bad for Bonnie because at the end of the day, you was roommates with this girl and you decided to basically, I don't want to use the word betray, but basically be like, you know what, I'm going to tell JK what's going on behind, you know, my roommate's back. If you really cared about your living situation, you wouldn't have did that. While at the same time, Brooke just want to be in denial. This is what I don't understand about Brooke. All last season, you was willing to lose your job, or rather with Love After Lockup, you were willing to risk your job, which you did, to basically track him at Alex's house. Now that you find out that there was a potential baby involved and that there's a miscarriage involved, now all of a sudden you're like, that's not true. You tracked him at Alex's house already.
You did.
You lost your job because you went there. So I don't understand why it's out of the realm of possibility that this is true. I don't really understand where Brooke's coming from. I guess it's just denial.
So Brooke goes to see Kathy, JK's mom, because she can't get a hold of him.
Yeah.
And she tells Kathy about the Alex situation. Kathy has these videos of JK at home. Clearly, she believes he's on something.
Yeah.
And she's afraid he could go back to jail or he could lose his life. Brooke actually reaches out to Alex because she wants to see her face to face to get down to the bottom of the situation.
Dude, like, you think it's going to be a peaceful situation?
I don't think it's going to be peaceful. I honestly, I'm just annoyed with Brooke, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
Because clearly he's not making an effort to support you, be with you, be around your kids the way that you want him to, and you're having to hound this man and follow him and try to figure out where he's at and go up to his mama's job. This is a lot.
Yeah.
You should be worried about work right now.
Yeah,
I think her priorities are
too much free time.
She's running behind this man like crazy, and honestly, whether or not the situation with Alex is true, I think it'd be best if you just drop JK.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's 100% facts. Here's my problem with Brooke: just too much free time.
Yeah,
and I'm seeing too much of Brooke and not enough Brooke as a mother. not enough Brooke with the kids. It just seems like, do you even have custody of your kids at this point?
Because that's the question.
Cause it just feels like you have a lot of free time. And granted, them boys are not at the age to where, like, at least one of them is not in school. One of them is at least in school.
I think both of them are.
So, but that's my point.
Yeah.
My point is that you have a lot of free time, and I don't see you doing anything with your children, anything that have to do with getting a job, as Blair said. It just seems like you're just on a wild goose chase.
Yes.
For what? For what? You get what I'm saying?
So we get to Courtney and Will. Courtney hasn't felt supported the whole time in her relationship with Will.
Okay.
She also can't visit her mom because she has outstanding warrants in Washington for grand theft auto. Mark offers her to live with him, and she says no because guys always expect more from her, but he tells her his pockets are always open and he gives her some money.
What do you mean your pocket is always open? Let me teach you this trick that these guys used to do in high school, right? It wasn't a good trick. I never partake in it. But once he said my pockets is always open, it made me think of this trick in high school that these guys used to do. So you know how we have textbooks and things of that nature? We used to have like lockers and textbooks and things like that. And a guy would purposely like be in front of a locker and ask the girl to get something out of his pocket for him because his hands is full. But the guys would cut holes in their pocket so they can touch.
Oh, that's nasty.
I mean, I understand that, but I'm just telling you,
gosh.
that's what
I didn't. I never heard about that.
That's well, it let us know how you was raised and how I was raised. Okay, but it made me think of that. When he said my pockets is always open. You know what you want from this girl.
Exactly.
You're not being honest. You want her to put her hand in your pocket, but guess what? The pocket is cut out and she touching you. And she licking you. And all these other things. So that's why I'm like, I agree with her of, you know what? Don't be with this guy because guess what? Nothing is free. Nothing.
So Courtney's friend Mac picks her up, and she is going to move into a house that she got through Mark.
Yeah.
She's also trying to stay sober. Courtney met Mac in prison. Apparently, they used to mess around and flirt in prison, and Mac takes her to a pawn shop to pawn her ring and her jacket, and she ends up kissing Mac. So it seems like all Courtney's friends want a piece of her.
Just a little piece.
A piece of that thing. Will meets with the attorney to get his divorce going, and he confirmed that he will not have to pay alimony since the marriage was only 6 weeks.
Yeah.
He did spend thousands of dollars for her to get out of prison. There was the whole sugar daddy situation, so he's trying to see if he could get the fraud type of angle, but the attorney pretty much tells him, we're just going to go for a dissolution of the marriage. We're just a divorce.
Was he trying to charge her?
So he got the paperwork to file, but at this point he isn't really sure what he's going to do.
Okay. Yes, you are. Because you already paid for the lawyer.
Yeah.
You know what
Well, no, he's not paying for the lawyer. He got them to download the paperwork so that way he can do it, file it himself.
Okay, that's fair.
So when Courtney goes into the pawn shop, she finds out the ring is not a diamond.
It's not a diamond.
It is costume jewelry. And then she also puts the jacket, the cheetah jacket, up on that table. And the lady says, ain't nothing I can do with this.
We don't want their cheetah.
I was thinking to myself, did she think this was like a real fur coat? I'm like, what is she going to get for this little jacket?
She probably thought that she'd get at least $20, but the person said, we don't want your cheetah.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
So the pawn lady can't help her with nothing at this point. Courtney calls her mom for money, and her mom says, you didn't call me when you were in jail or when you got out of jail. And her mom tells her, I cannot keep bailing you out. Courtney then calls another friend to ask them to help pay her rent, which is going to be $600 a month, and the friend says yes. Will is packing up, getting his stuff together to go to Portland in order to serve her the divorce papers in person. He says he also wants to say his piece.
I have a question about Will. If we can go back to when he said he spent thousands and thousands of dollars on Courtney, right? Do we believe that, knowing now that the ring is fake?
I think he spent hundreds. I'll go hundreds. Thousands upon thousands.
Yeah, because
maybe 1,000, because the way it's shaking out to be, I would say a good hundreds.
It's starting to make it seem like, well, here's the thing about it. I'm not absolving Courtney of any wrongdoing. But at the same time, I think Will is trying to portray himself as this stand-up guy, and the only thing that's stand-up about him is that he never been to prison. But other than that, he lied about the ring. The ring don't cost whatever he said it costs and things of that nature. It's fake. It's costume jewelry. The pawn lady did not have to call it costume jewelry, but she said $6. That was even more disrespectful in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, like, Will, you trying to make it seem like you are the stand-up guy, but if we go by what Courtney said, you promised her an allowance that you haven't fulfilled. You gave her a fake ring, and now you was upset that the prisoner or the basically ex-convict is acting like a ex-convict. Like I'm confused by Will. So Will think he's on some self-righteous trip to where, you know what, I'm gonna go to Portland. He could go to Portland to serve her divorce papers, but when it comes to actually picking her up and things of that nature, he can't do that. That's why I'm like, even though Courtney is a mess, at least we know that she's a mess, and we just expect mess from Courtney. But Will, you ain't no good man in my eyes either.
Yeah, and if we're talking about people who have too much free time on their hands, I think Will does as well.
Just a little bit.
I mean, you just got all the time in the world to be flying to Portland, to be serving papers, to be having these conversations over the phone. If you're done, be done.
Yeah.
And let the courts handle it. Like,
fact.
Like, you really don't even have to talk to this girl anymore if you allow them to take care of the situation for you.
You're right.
So we move on to Zeruiah and Troy.
Oh, boy.
He is heading to see his family in Buffalo. Zeruiah is not happy about that. He meets up with his mom because usually his brother sees his mom, and she's the last one to usually see him. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know where he's at. He's grown. She doesn't need to find him. And she's asking Troy, why is he chasing him? Because he's fine.
You know what Karen basically said? You can't raise a man because he's already grown what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. That's what K. Michelle said.
Yeah.
And obviously she's been listening to K. Michelle. And for one,
but the thing is, she should have been raising him, but she wasn't raising none of her kids.
At the same time, outside of the fact that she's clearly high as a kite.
Oh yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
She said she about to get herself a cocktail.
She about to get herself a little cocktail, right? Mm-hmm. Outside of that, there is something actual about, hey, what do you want me to do? You get what I'm saying? You see, I'm unfit. I'm unfit for church. I'm unfit to be around the grandkids. I'm unfit to be where you are and things like that. And now you want me to go out there while I'm high looking for this boy that I have no idea where he's at. So that's why I'm like, I think the most thing that Troy did was trying to see was he there. But after that, trying to make it seem like some type of, and I don't want to say guilt trip, but basically trying to be like, you should care, mama. Do Karen look like she care about anything in life right now?
Not even herself.
Not even herself. So that's why I said, Troy, you can't get through her right now in this state. Listen, find your brother before you end up being there longer than you have to be, because then you got to look after your mom. And, you know, mom, she's happy even though she's high as a kite. She's in the confessional talking about she's the real queen. I said, okay, I see you, Karen.
And Zeruiah needs to get with the program.
Oh, well, okay.
So Troy gets in touch with his brother. He picks him up, and he takes him to the gravesite with his sister.
Yeah.
And one of their brothers passed away. He was running the streets. He passed 16 years ago. Mm-hmm. And Troy is just trying to drill it into his brother how they still have life to live and how it's over for their brother, so they need to make the most out of their life.
Yeah.
And it looks like it made an impact on him.
I don't think so. Because I shouldn't have to come down to Buffalo, or come up to Buffalo rather, to come find you. I'm looking for you. I'm calling you 10 times and things of that nature, and finally you answer. And not only did our brother pass away, he was murdered. Mm-hmm. Like that's very different.
Yeah.
So I understand that in street culture, there's this facade that it won't happen to me, you know, but it happens to everybody. And even though I did chuckle, because I was like, hopefully he don't really mean in a minute with his brother.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to see you in a minute. And I was like, I don't think we're trying to do this.
I said, I
don't think this is right.
Do not 60 second this brother. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, obviously that moment was hard for Troy to go back to see his brother's grave.
Yeah.
It was hard for the sister. It was hard for the little brother as well. But at the same time, I have this motto that I live by, is that, hey, after I talk to you, you really can't stop destiny. And unfortunately, some people are just destined for that life. And if the little brother can't see Troy, who is his big brother who went to jail for a period of time, his other big brother who was murdered and things of that nature, see his living circumstance to where it's not stable. And I understand as men, when you're not stable, then it just seems like the world is just falling on you. But if you can't use those things as a launching pad to basically get yourself right, even something as simple as just moving out of that city or that state just to get a whole new fresh start, then you can't stop destiny. You're just destined to follow the same footsteps as big bros. You get what I'm saying? So, hopefully it got through to him, but who knows?
But I do feel like for people who are the loved ones of the person going through something, I do think that you should do everything in your power that you can in order to try to make an impact in that person's life, because it may be a wake-up call that they need in order to set them on a different path, and it may not work. But the thing is, I feel like as you are the one who loves and cares for them, if you know you did everything that you could for that person, then you can live a life of no regrets of whatever happens afterwards.
I think it depends. I don't know if Troy can, because Troy seems like he keeps a lot of stuff in and he goes through a lot. But we already see Troy is his only last resort for Vaughn. The big sister's like, you need to come get your brother. Even though she's in the same city as him and things like that. She said, I did all this while you was in jail. It's time for you to do it. Karen's already wiped her hands clean, even though she may have had a hand in this. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, to put all that on one person, on even Troy, it just seems like unfair. I understand that, hey, I'm going to exhaust all my options and things like that, but listen, I'm not a fan of Z at all, right? But you are taking him away of basically the life that he's trying to create outside of Buffalo.
But that's why I'm saying that Troy needs to decide what is enough for him to do for his brother, so he can be at peace with whatever happens.
That's fair.
If a phone call, if I tried calling you, if I tried sending you money, if I tried X, Y, and Z, and I can't get out the house because I got to take care of my wife and kids, then that's the most I could do. If I have it in me to go to see you and put hands and eyes on you, then that's what I'm going to be able to do. But I think that it's up to Troy to determine what those boundaries are. And I do think that at some point he does have to establish a little bit better boundaries, because it's Christmas time and you up and leaving your house and your wife and everything to go and see about your brother. I get it if it's a dire circumstance, but at the same time, like, you do have a family to tend to. So we move on to Justine and Michael. Michael feels like he opened the wound for her situation with her mom, so he's feeling a little bit guilty about that. But he ends up taking his daughter Melody out to practice driving, and he explains to her that she needs to stay out of trouble. He talks about how he is on parole until 2042. That is a long time. He's telling her that you really just can't let people get a reaction out of you. So she starts crying, like she knows, she understands. She just went through life and school alone and felt like nobody was there to stick up for her. And because one of her younger brothers is autistic, people like to mess with him, and she doesn't want him to feel like nobody's there for him. So we also, are reminded that Michael was in jail for the time where she was 10 to 17 years old. So those are some big developmental ages. Middle school can be a beast as well.
She is a good kid. Not a good driver, but she's a good kid.
She's getting there. She'll get there.
Be careful, y'all, in Vegas. Okay. There's a Melody, her name is on the loose. Okay. Here's the thing, right? She said she feels anger sometimes, and I think she's doing her best not to blame her father. Michael is trying to do his best of taking accountability because he know he wasn't there. Right. So he's trying to. It's kind of hard to put yourself back in a position to where, we're in a whole different state, a whole new city. This is literally a whole new life. I'm here, and it's kind of hard to put yourself back into the mindset or even that bad place that even Michael and Melody was in, even Justine was in while he was in jail. You get what I'm saying? That's why you can kind of hear how he's talking to Melody. He's trying to connect with her, basically like, hey, I understand you're on an emotional level right now, and like it's emotional, it's a thing, but you could tell in Michael's advice, he's trying to get her to move past it, because he's like, look, I'm not even trying to go back to that chapter. I don't want to revisit that. And truth be told, I think this is just a moment in her life. And listen, I commend her for standing up for her brothers and things like that. But like Michael said, I am on parole to 2042. Meaning I'm on a tightrope where I can't make no mistakes for basically the next 2 decades. So like I do I did like this scene.
Yeah. Well, Justine and Michael finally talk. He apologizes for making her feel second to other things in their life.
Yeah.
And he's just stressed out trying to please everyone and to secure their finances. Justine tells him that we just need to please ourselves. So he's willing to put the barbershop on hold, but they do need to compromise with pretty much the size and the cost of the wedding.
Yeah.
The only thing she is not willing to compromise on is the fact that she wants a nice venue and she wants a nice dress. So they talk about how they plan to go to New York. They can see his side of the family, some people that she's never met before, and also check out some wedding venues. And since they are the only ones on the West Coast, they plan on having their wedding on the East Coast, which will make it more convenient for their families.
What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, on the scene?
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I felt like they came to common ground. I felt like they had, good communication after their argument. I think that I like the fact that he apologized for making her feel second to the other things. And I was always behind her having her wedding. I just felt like it needed to be something that they could actually afford. So
yeah, I don't like the statement we need to please ourselves, because it gives it almost seemed like you're escaping your everyday life, right?
I didn't feel that way. But go ahead.
But you're escaping the everyday life that you cultivated. You have all these kids, you have all these bills, and you're trying to secure your financial situation, but this is a situation that you put yourself in. You get what I'm saying? I do agree that there is something to, hey, don't put the business ahead of her and things of that nature. I understand that, hey, she's willing to compromise, and she's been compromising when it comes to your business. But when it comes to the wedding, though, like I need a more compromise than, hey, I won't compromise on a nice venue. Well, the venue is usually the most expensive thing. You get what I'm saying? A dress. Listen, we try to get you a dress now, but you talking about travel, and then you're talking about a venue, and you're not even talking about traveling for the sake of just me and you. We got all these kids here. If it's a wedding, and if people
they would just go by themselves. His mom is there.
Oh, okay. So the kids go stay here. My thing is, if it's my wedding, and if you really care about this wedding and things like that, I'm having people come to me. I'm sorry. Like I have all these kids. It would be easier and more convenient for y'all to come to us for the wedding. That's usually how it goes anyway. But I just feel like when it comes to the wedding, I just think it's irresponsible for them to have a $60,000 wedding when they have all these bills and responsibilities.
But that's why I think she's willing to compromise on the price, though.
What's the...
she was talking about...
If it's not $10,000,
a sword to cut the cake and all this other different stuff.
Okay, a sword.
But I'm just saying, like,
how much a sword costs? Like $400?
She's tapering down her expectations.
Don't taper down the sword. The sword costs $400. I straight could get you the sword. Okay. You get what I'm saying? But let's taper the whole wedding and the guests, because we got to have the big venue, and we got to have the people, and we got to feed them. Like, I just think it's irresponsible for them to have this wedding right now. If it's not going to be $10,000, don't have the wedding. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
And my thing is, sometimes you want to have temporary fun. You want to have temporary fun on the front end, but you may pay for it more on the back end compared to actually doing some work on the front end, and you actually get some stress reliever on the back end. That I just think they're doing it backwards. It don't have to be the barbershop, because I don't think the barbershop idea is going to work, but I don't think that they should just be like, you know what, since we're not doing anything, let's do something for ourselves. Let's just have a wedding. I'm like, we can't think of nothing else that we could do for ourselves?
Well, the thing is, they already agreed on it. They've been sacrificing a lot. So I think that in life you need to celebrate. It doesn't have to be $60,000 worth, but I think that they're due for a celebration.
Well, let's have a cookout. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see y'all.
Bye.